PWO. Stefi Aludo is winner of first WTA matchup in PH, dominates compatriot Alcala. Manila, Philippine neta Stefi Aludo is the first ever winner of a WTA matchup here in the Philippines. As Manila hosts the WTA 125 Philippine Women's Open, with the qualifying round commencing Saturday at the Rizal Memorial Tennis Center, Aludo overwhelmed fellow Filipina Angeline Alcala, 6-1, 6-0, in the first round. Aludo is a 17-year-old player from Agusan del Sur, studying at Cebu College in Malabon. She did not let Alcala taste the lead, starting with a forehand shot, and ended with the same play to move on in the qualifiers. Aludo faces Sakura Hesogi next, with the schedule yet to be announced, as of writing. Also at press time, Filipina Lorraine Jalarina battles Pingtam Plipawek of Thailand for a chance to go deeper in the qualifying tournament. Tennis ace Alex Ila, meanwhile, will play at the main draw starting Monday. The crowd at the Philippine Women's Open, PWO, did not need to be told they were witnessing history. They felt it in the charged air, in the flutter of flags, in the quiet pause before the very first serve. For the first time on a WTA stage in the Philippines, two Filipinas stood across the net from each other, not as training partners, not as juniors dreaming of something bigger, but as equals in a professional showdown. At one baseline stood Stephie Aludo, calm, sharp-eyed, her racket resting lightly in her hand. Across from her was compatriot Alcala, fierce and unyielding, wearing the same colors, carrying the same national hopes. Only one could walk away a winner, but both had already crossed a threshold generations in the making. A match bigger than the scoreline. From the opening rally, it was clear that this was not a sentimental exhibition. Aludo played with intent, her footwork precise, her timing ruthless. She dictated the tempo early, pushing Alcala deep behind the baseline and forcing errors that came not from weakness, but from pressure. Alcala fought back with grit, unleashing heavy forehands and chasing down balls that seemed already lost. There were flashes of brilliance, angled returns, daring net approaches, that drew cheers as loud as those for Aludo's winners. This was sisterhood sharpened into competition, respect transformed into rivalry. Yet as the match unfolded, Aludo's control became unmistakable. She read Alcala's patterns, adjusted seamlessly, and began to dominate exchanges that once felt even. Each game she won felt like a statement, not of superiority over her opponent, but of readiness for the world beyond this court. Stefi Aludo's moment. When match point arrived, the stadium held its breath. Aludo served wide, drew a short return, and finished the rally with a clean, decisive strike. The ball kissed the line. Game. Set. Match. For a split second, there was silence, then the eruption. Stefi Aludo lifted her arms, not in triumph alone, but in acknowledgement of what the moment represented. She had won the first WTA matchup ever played between Filipinas on home soil. She had dominated a compatriot she respected deeply, and she had etched her name into Philippine tennis history. Across the net, Alcala smiled, walked forward, and embraced her. No bitterness, no excuses, just mutual understanding of what they had built together. Beyond rivalry, a shared legacy. This match was never just about who advanced in the draw. It was about visibility, about proof, about showing young Filipino players, watching from the stands or from cracked concrete courts across the country, that the WTA was not an unreachable dream. For years, Philippine tennis lived on the margins of global attention. Talented players emerged, trained abroad, struggled for funding, and often fought alone. That afternoon at the PWO, the struggle felt collective, and the future, suddenly, closer. Aludo's dominance did not diminish Alcala's role in this story. Without her, there would be no historic first. Without competition at this level, there is no growth. Together, they turned a match into a message. We belong here. The road ahead. For Stefi Aludo, the win is both a milestone and a beginning. WTA victories demand consistency, resilience, and an ability to evolve under pressure. This match showed that she possesses those qualities, and perhaps more importantly, that she understands the weight of carrying a nation's hopes without being crushed by them. For Alcala, the loss is not a closing chapter but a challenge. She pushed, she resisted, and she stood tall on a stage that will remember her as part of a groundbreaking moment. And for Philippine tennis, the PWO will be remembered as more than a tournament. It will be remembered as the place where possibility took physical form, where history was not discussed in the abstract, but played point by point. A victory that echoes. Long after the crowd dispersed and the lights dimmed, the echo of that match lingered. Not just in the record books, but in conversations, in dreams, in the quiet resolve of young players picking up rackets the next day.